Gabrielle. Melissa and okay, so I thought yeah, for a moment. Oh wow, I heard a lady on this side say, I was in the film. Excuse me, ma'am, was that you? Was that you who said you were in the film? Yeah, you were dancing, right? She's here. Okay, great. So I know all of you, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask a basic round of questions just to get us started. However, I want everybody, if it's possible for you to kind of raise your hands for anyone who has questions so that we can line them up pretty quick because we only have about 25 minutes together. So anybody who has any question, do you have, just put up your hand so we can get one of the mics to you and we'll start. What status? Do you know? Is that a hand up?
Oh, I was just sending a heart.
Oh, thank you. Put up both hands, yes. So we have one there. Who else? Okay, so we'll have you, and then you over there, right? Those will be once we finish it. Thank you so much. So thank you for the films that you made for us. Again, Andres, Melissa, Andre, and Gabrielle. A round of applause. Interdependence Shorts program is, again, my name is Nyambora. I'm one of the programmers for the Short Talk Committee. I live in Montreal. I hail from Kenya. And I must say, Interdependence was really a Philly special, so thank you very much, y'all. And thank you, Andre. Is this your first time or first time in Philly?
First time Philly.
And one thing that was really beautiful when we're kind of thinking through the program was why this one, how did we put this together? So I just had to quote Nihat Kader, our festival director. Woo! Yay! Because it really brings everything together. The Interdependence Shorts program is about folks bringing their best into a collective in order to build something together. And boy, have we watched a lot being made together and how powerful community is, whether through music, whether through food, whether through our community spaces, different cultures coming together, and just the filmmakers who made the decision to take the journey and make this film, because it's a long journey. So thank you very much. So I'm just gonna start with Andres and Melissa. With Fili Rumba, it being such iconic film for the place and musicians who are here. A round of applause. And it was just also very wonderful to see. So again, I said I'm Kenyan. We play rumba, and it comes from the Congo. And the Congolese musicians who came during around the 60s, 70s to play in Nairobi, Kenya. There's a music route that goes all through Lake Victoria, down Uganda, into Kenya, into Mombasa. So watching that film was just watching how a music style, where it came from, where it's been nurtured, when it comes to a quote-unquote new place, but again, we are African, and just hearing that. So if you could just tell us more about how you decided on making Fili Rumba, and also particularly as co-directors, how did that work for you guys as you told the story?
Let's begin with Tony.
Hey, Tony's in the house.
Okay. It started in like 2020 or earlier than that. We can talk about our own personal connections, but we wanted to just document the culture of rumba in Philly and the history and the musicians who were stewarding this culture in Philly. So it first started as it was a virtual workshop actually. It was supposed to be in person, but the pandemic in 2020. And that was the first time, so Andres and I started like writing this voiceover for that workshop. And then from there, we were like, okay, we want to interview more oral history style interviews with the Roomba community. We were each part of it in different ways. And so, what year was that? 2021. So we thought that was the film. But it just kept evolving. The more we were learning about the archival materials that everyone had, the deeper stories, we ended up getting more funding. Thank you, funders. So we were then able to start bringing on more of a crew. So we had DPs film the interviews you saw, and then we were like, okay, this is the film then. This is gonna be it. But still, there was more of a story there. We felt like there was a lot more, and I felt like I needed help with a bigger crew. So we brought on Lila. Where are you, Lila? The producer, amazing producer. That was about a year and a half ago. And that was a big turning point. So the film changed again, and it became something that I don't think we even envisioned. But as Baba Yinka says, it was just destiny. It just is the film that it was meant to be. It took a long time, but yes.
Time well spent.
Time
well spent.
And I'll just say the past year and a half, it was a lot of collecting archival materials, which was unexpected, but beautiful.
Well, we definitely have to give thanks to not only the musicians that were so generous with their stories, but also our amazing crew that did come later on as this started, kept evolving. Our editor, Gabriella Kavanaugh, was incredible at weaving together the story. Give it up to Gabby. And like we mentioned, Lila, our producer, just kept us in line. I'm personally, I'm new in this.
He's a musician.
Sorry?
You're a musician.
Yes, I'm a musician, and I just want to get down with these guys. And since I've been in Philly, these gentlemen and Mama Dottie included, they have been my family here. I've been here 18 years, and literally from the first year I got here, these are the guys I hung out with most of my time in Philadelphia. And all men my age, I'm hanging out with my father 20 times over and over in different facets, and the fact that they have a unique. I've been a rumba player for many years prior to coming to the U.S. I was in Puerto Rico and studied in Cuba, but when I found out that these gentlemen had created their own songs in English, and it was a beautiful thing that Melissa just took on this curiosity and wanted to weave this story together, because it was the opportunity to give these men credit for something that no one had done. If you listen to any rumba record, you will, from Cuba, they're all in Spanish. Now, recently, maybe some Japanese, which is incredible. But maybe that's one or two songs. Tony has in his possession, thanks to his late brother-in-law, who we had to honor, Mr. Eddie Morton. He wrote and co-wrote, along with Andre Hawks and Tony Cosby from the Little Africa crew, maybe 50 songs. And we are waiting, hopefully, I'm putting this out there, so this is part of the Philadelphia musical tradition. We are right now at the foot of the Avenue of the Arts with all the amazing and the most influential world musicians have walked through and have been honored. From Billie Holiday living down the street, to Dizzy Gillespie pacing up and down, John Coltrane in Strawberry Mansion composing the most incredible jazz works ever. We have, this is the birthplace of neo soul, and rumba took on English, and it was written by a native Philadelphian And I'm waiting for the day with your support where these men can record and have these songs really out in the world, and so we can continue to preserve this legacy. Give it up to the member of Mr. Eddie, from Little Africa, Andre, Tony, Baba Yinka, for keeping this tradition alive. You know, this has been the beauty of the project is to really preserve and maintain rumba in Philadelphia alive as it has been for the past 50 years.
Wow, thank you. And that is really how we build community, because I think we've moved into, a different generation in terms of technology, social media, and everything else. We're not with each other. And I will get to that question with you, Gabrielle, a little bit later. But that understanding of community and ownership and how we need to come together. Yes, maybe in masses, but physically to build this and also work together and talk to each other to discover things. And that brings me to you, Mr. Andrew Anderson. Really thank you for Authors of the Estate and this notion of ownership and a clear understanding of we all have stories. We're all people who, however we'll write them in whatever language we shall write them in, we are authors of our lives in that ownership. So one of the questions that I had for you is weaving the thread. I mean, Authors of the Estate is so interesting because it takes you through the journey of you actually making the film and actually making the story come together. And so I wanted to know, with Freedom and Balance, what was the next thing? But also, what didn't we see there as animated as that was about writing, that you can let us know that we didn't get to see in Authors of the State that you want to tell us, and leading to that ownership of Freedom and Balance, and into Freedom and Balance?
I mean, when it comes down to what you pretty much put everything in it. Very similar to you, we had like 5 versions of the film. So you'll see in the 5th version, the first one wasn't that good, but we got better over time. And again, the better versions came later on. But we all have our own internal language. And it often comes off as like a kid being super playful or super silly, and it gets brushed off very quickly. But I realized that the artists are the people who kept that baby language, essentially. But we all have it. And I realized that if you just give people the space to cultivate that, there's entire genres of literature that we haven't seen yet. There's genres of music. There's ways of perceiving the world that we just don't have because we just say, oh, the artists are going to do that. And the artists are tired. If you look at what's happening on I don't know if you're on Netflix or anything. Oh, sorry, Netflix. But I don't know if you're on streaming lately, but it's tired. Everyone's tired. So we need people who actually have the freedom from not calling themselves an artist, and they say, okay, like, how would you tell your story? Or if you was to have the time to develop your own genre of thought, what does that even look like? So after Authors of the Estate, actually really during, but I built an art college called Freedom and Balance, which is based in London. And the idea of it is give people the space to create and see what happens over time. It's not for artists, it's for people who are just doing a 9 to 5 and in the evening they just want to go somewhere. And that is the kinds of spaces that I believe need to continue to happen. So one of the things that we noticed when we was doing Authors of the Estate is the first thing that you see is people say, I'm not an author, I'm not an author. And we had to take away all the language that was associated with authorship, being a publisher, me being a headmaster. All this language is so stifling to someone who just wants to tell their story. So we actually stripped that all back and just said, oh, let's just chat. And then we just put the phone, we just started talking. As a matter of fact, it's only when the launch happened when they even knew this was a book project. Many of them didn't know there was writing a book, but actually Kathy, who said, I had writer's block since I was 14, I'm 63 now, she said that verbally. That wasn't something that she wrote down, but she speaks so poetically that you can just write it word for word. And that was just a moment for her to even realize that, like, you're an artist all the time, you're speaking artistically. A lot of people in our family speak artistically all the time. And I just wanted to create that environment and still continue to create those environments for people.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'm just going to take your word cultivate with Gabrielle and Sita. Since We Carry, what a beautiful film. Also understanding how, what I loved was the idea that we don't need to gentrify to rehabilitate communities, rehabilitate spaces. Thank you so much. And with it, bring for us food. Something so, it's a basic need, it is a human right, yet so many of us do not have access to it. So thank you for this film that showed us different ways, and ways in which people were learning to speak each other's language, because even being an immigrant, like one of them, they said that, you know, I'm shy because I couldn't speak English well, but it's not, you don't need to speak English well, you just speak and we'll try and understand each other. So Since We Carry, coming in and working with the different communities, and what were the stories that drew you in to say, this is the film I want to make?
Yeah, the film it started with me volunteering at Reinhardt Street Community Farm and Kitchen, where the film is based, and just coming in to help plant seeds or to water, to weed, and having a great time getting to know people, and everybody being like very open, and yeah, just sweet, and there being amazing, tasty food that Ben was also. Sorry, what did you say?
Made all of us hungry.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I went there and we worked for a few hours, you know, at the farm, and then Ben cooked some tasty food, and I was like, I have to come back. So just from getting to talk to people, having questions about the plants, talking to Tomasa every time I would go by the farm. I feel like Tomasa was giving me new facts, new things to know about the different plants, the bugs, all the different things around the garden. So yeah, just being curious and asking people about their stories. And at first, when I had thought of this idea originally, we had applied for a grant with the Leeway Foundation. For like between the People's Kitchen at the time and me as a media artist, and I had an idea of interviewing different people at the farm, because there were a lot of people from different cultures, longtime residents, but people who are also new to the neighborhood, and so I thought that would be interesting, but. When the new year came around and we had luckily won this grant to be able to work on an ongoing media project, the Karen community group that you see, KCAP, in the film, they were looking for a new place to farm, and they ended up, one of the places that they ended up farming was on Reinhardt Street. So that brought in another element to the story of, oh, okay, so there are some folks who they don't live in the neighborhood, but they're coming all the way over here to farm because it's so important to them to keep this legacy going, for them to be able to grow these foods, these ancestral foods that are so important just day to day, to be able to eat foods that you connect to. So yeah, that was definitely just extremely fascinating, and I wanted to know more about their story, and unexpected things came up from that as well. Just different emotions that came up in the moment while interviewing Nado, and yeah, just learning to navigate along the way. Everybody's different stories. So yeah.
No, thank you very much, because also we got to see how they're buying out the vacant lots, and I forgot about it. When you're in urban areas, there are a lot of vacant lots, and we always assume, at least for me, how we've grown up, that's going to be an apartment, that's going to be a building, it's going to be something that is technically not for the community. We can't make use of the land as a community. So it was just really wonderful to see that. Living in Montreal, we have lots, but there are only certain places that would have them, because there's certain places of Montreal, before it became like a city, before it grew out of the downtown area, it was actually where the food came from. So at the back where I lived, there were lots that we could get, but not everybody gets to do that. So thank you very much. So what I want to do now is thank you for setting this up for us so that we can include everyone else. May we please start with the first question? I think that works. I think. Who was the next person? Someone over there? Take mine. Oh, it's not there. Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jasmine from WHY PBS station up the street. Kind of the through line throughout all you guys' film was culture, connection, and community. So what conversation do you guys hope come from those themes of culture, connection, community that we're seeing throughout the films?
Sure, yeah, I'll start. I'm just hoping that people feel empowered to be able to, whether it's joining a local community garden or if they have a project in mind that they want to start, very much in the same sort of mindset of authors of the estate, like, go do it. You know, you don't necessarily need to ask permission to start something. Things can become formalized later, but if there's something that you really want to do, if you want to start feeding your family or your community or just gather together with neighbors to grow things because it's enjoyable and a great way to meet people and connect to people, you should start that. And if there's any way to support the work that's going on in your own neighborhood, there's tons of stuff going on in Philadelphia in terms of urban agriculture. Those are different initiatives that I encourage people to get involved with.
So with Authors of the Estate, it is a deeply intimate story. I'm actually quite shocked I'm here in Philadelphia to talk about what happens in Northwest London. Because it's a deeply, even Northwest London is an obscure place in London, so we have to keep proving who we are kind of thing. But I think that I can only speak from a personal place, I feel like oftentimes two things. We make community an inflated term. So whenever you think about community, it's like it needs to be a masses and movements and thousands of people on the street. And actually, once there's 2 or 3 people, that's a community. That's your household is often your community. And also as well, I don't know if this is the same thing in the US, right? But we have this thing in London where if you say you're going to do something for the community or do something locally, you often put like 40% of your energy into it. You don't give your whole heart to the thing. And I see Authors of the Estate as a heist movie because we learned a lot of our stuff from the creative world, trying to sell shoes and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And in like ad agencies and creative agencies, but we was learning those skills because we wanted to make our neighbors look beautiful. We don't want to make these shoes look beautiful, these clothes look beautiful, we want our neighbors to look beautiful. So I think part of it is the film that you're actually seeing is that actually we can learn what it is to, how publishing systems work for our benefit, but also so the making of the film itself was us getting the best that we know and the best friends that we have that work in the industry to be like, can you tell this story as intimately as possible? And I think basically just love your neighbor, love the person next to you with the same level of energy that you would in bigger corporations and all that kind of stuff. And don't wait for the funding grant, don't wait for someone to like give you the handout or someone to give you the okay. You can just start. The film that we did, it took us 5 years to do because we was doing everything out of our own pocket. And then by the time we did apply for funding, because we did, by the time we did, we had a film already. Like we've already interviewed everybody, we've done everything. So we're not molding the film in the likeness of whoever wrote the funding application or the funding grant. More audaciousness and more authority and more autonomy is something that I hope that this film would encourage in people.
Well, as a musician, I gotta say that it's tough out here. In the sense that we're not that it's tough. Music as an art form has taken a hit, and we become very generic, and we think of experiencing music going to a place like the Kimmel Center or buying a ticket to see something. When, my favorite musicians and the way I consider myself a musician was coming through folklore first. I come from a culture where the drum was allowed 1 day a year from colonial times, and that allowed the cultivation of many folkloric styles. The U.S. had a different journey, and I think, and Andre mentioned it in the film. You know, the genius of our African ancestors in the United States was to make, use body percussion in the South to take in the pieces of military marching drums and creating one thing. And it's the genius of the legacy of our ancestors. And I feel that rumba, in the places where rumba fits, it's right there. And we don't have to think of let's go out and then buy a ticket to something. No, these places do exist, and much like these gardens in the city do exist. And if it takes sharing these beautiful stories, writers, really taking out the beauty of someone that is a crazy introvert. Well, now you're able to read their soul through their words, or really taste their food. You can hear years of that tough week being manifested in one drum, a drawn out solo or a song, and that's something you experience through folklore. So these are folkloric arts. This is the root of our humanity. And I feel we just need to keep spreading the word and work the word of mouth that Philadelphia, also as we're learning in places in obscure places in London, we can you know what I mean? But we're out here, and really I think it's much easier than it is. Imperfect Gallery in Germantown hosts rumba. Clark Park hosts rumbas. You can create a rumba. You saw it. We started out in basements, to festivals, to street corners, and now galleries. But these places are out here. So the takeaway is yes, that all of these places are here. It's intentional support that keeps them going, keeps them thriving, keeps them funded, and that's where we all come in collectively.
Thank you so much. Do you answer already?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, a big takeaway is archives, that our communities and Black and Brown communities, immigrant communities need to digitize our archives. I wish we could have digitized all the archives. Hopefully they'll all be digitized at some point, but like Tony had a whole suitcase. Randy and Rocio had tapes from the 80s. So I just encourage everyone to digitize, from your parents, grandparents, families, find those tapes, those materials that need to be digitized. Seriously, because some of them, it's been a while, they don't preserve very well. So we really need to do that work, to digitize and then see what other stories come out of those archives, because it's beautiful.
Also, don't forget you're all like living archives. You all have something. So also, let us know. Pass it on. Make sure you pass it on to whoever is kin to you. Yes, please.
Hi, thank you all.
Hi, thank you all so much for your beautiful work. So this is a question that I'd like for everyone to answer. How have your projects lived inside you after the finish?
We'll start with you guys.
The first thing I can think of is incomplete. I'm not satisfied with it. And not in a bad sense, it's just there's so much more to be told, basically. As Melissa was saying, the need to archive and it's 25 minutes of what could be literally and has been a lifetime of experience from each individual. So I would love to be able to honor everybody and all their stories completely. But I would say that I maybe more, I feel like, yeah, more needs to be told.
This is why we're co-directors. So I feel that the film is done. And I feel joy. But it just got to the point that like it all came together in the end, thanks to the whole team and participants. And we felt like, okay, finally this is the story, at least the 25-minute version of the story. Yeah, and I'm just like, I haven't been sleeping too well. So the lines have been, going on in my head the past 2 weeks, but I feel like that's a good thing. Yeah, just like the stories. I just feel joyful that we were able to do this.
So I actually didn't want the film to be done. So how we done the film is that I didn't want to tell the story that felt like it was a nostalgic moment. The reason why you don't see dates in the film is because I wanted it to feel present whenever you watch it. And even when it finishes as an invitation to play with us, essentially. So how it stayed in me is I have to keep reminding myself, in this film reminds myself that I am an author, and not just an author in terms of I write books. The actual term author means someone who writes the laws of the land. There's someone who authorized. That's where we get the word authorize and authority from. That's what an author is. So as long as I'm alive, I actually want to see what I can offer. What can I offer in publishing? What can I offer in life, in my family? What can I offer in the city that I live in cities that I don't live in? Like, what can my life force help offer? So this film is just always a constant reminder that as long as I'm alive, there's always something to help pen down.
The question is about what stays with us. So I think just the connection to this particular place, to the farm, to the gardens, and the people, and basically the things that they're holding on to day to day. That's just something that sticks with me, or I think about a lot, like the people who are in the film, and hopefully that this is something that they can take with them going forward, and is something that feels something that's special, and they're happy to hold on to. But I think going forward, there are so many stories that could be told, and this was one particular way that I decided to do it. But there are so many stories that are being created right now. The footage that you saw is from between 1 and 2 years ago. So there's so much new stuff that's happening. I'm excited to see where this farm goes in the future, but also what KCAP is going to be doing in the future with their new garden space in West Philadelphia. And I just want to say, I moved recently from Philadelphia to the Atlanta area to be closer to family, and I just want to stay connected to this place for as long as possible. So that's what's
That's so beautiful. I know we have one last question, but I believe our time is up. I was given the signal. So, what I could do, because I'm going to do a thing, is the last person to ask the question, you were, right? And you all just have one sentence. Just answer it one sentence, so we get everybody, and then we leave by the time we're expected to leave. And when we answer that sentence, I'd like to also, if anyone who participated in the films, I know the musicians are there, some of them have left, but anybody who was in the films can stand up, and then we can recognize you and love you. So you ask the question, one sentence, and not a poetic one. And then the musicians and all of you who participated, and we close it, and
Wait, can I say something?
She's come, start.
Okay, so my question is,
I really like the idea that was kind of the common thread.
We need one sentence.
Okay, one second. How did you acquire financing for your documentaries?
Wow.
While also maintaining like narrative integrity.
Okay, one sentence. And we go. Because yeah. Andres and Melissa, one sentence. From the both of you, one sentence.
Find local funders who are aligned with your story.
Woo, okay. Andre?
Do as much of the film yourself, so when a funder approaches you, you got leverage.
Okay. Gabrielle?
I second both of the things that they said, and also learn skills that you can, so that you can do things yourself if you need to.
Woo, community. So everybody who was in the films, please stand up and let us love you and give you a, please stand up. Okay, thank you so much, guys. So thank you so much to everybody who was the community that made all these films. Thank you, Andres, Melissa, Andre, and Gabrielle for your wonderful things. Thank you to Backstar, and thank you to all of you for making it and making this a wonderful, wonderful experience. Oh, Mr. Tony! He's running away. Yay!
Let me show you. We have Philly.
Yeah, that's merch. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good afternoon. Thank you for coming, and yeah, ciao.